So Sunday Night Football is it's the most popular television show in America, which is kind of funny, but it makes a lot of sense, right? But of course, it's the off season, and everyone's just grasping to make content. And trust me, we understand. We're in the same boat. So we're just making content off of other people's content, and we're just unabashed and unapologetic about it. But Sunday Night Football, they tweeted this out. If you had to put money on one of these teams to win the Super Bowl this season, which are you going with? So, of course, they have the infographic franchises without a Super Bowl title. And, of course, dun, dun, dun. Minnesota Fighting Vikings right there. And it hurts. It does hurt. But, having 12 of 32 franchises in the NFL, having never won a Super Bowl, it is what it is. So, even though the Vikings had won numerous NFL titles back in the day, doesn't matter. But going through this list, obviously we're going to bet on the Vikings, but I just want to work out a rationale. So, Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, year 2. I do love Kyler Murray, and they do get nuked now to go with Christian Kirk and the remnants of Larry Fitzgerald. Sure. I mean, they got Josh Jones. They got Isaiah Simmons. Sure, but nah. Panthers are intriguing. So Panthers has gone to 2 Super Bowls, lost twice. So they lost once to the Patriots, 03 or 04, one of those 2 years. And then they lost in 2015 with when Mike Remmers basically just handed Von Miller, hey, here you go, Von. Yeah, I'm Mike Remmers. But Carolina, first year with Matt Rule. They do have Joe Brady, Christian McCaffrey, Teddy Bridgewater. And I think they're going to be feisty, but Super Bowl, nah. Titans, they went farthest of any of these teams, any of these 12 teams last year. They did appear in the Super Bowl, 99 against the Rams. Jeff Fisher was this close to winning a Super Bowl. I mean, just that Kevin Dyson, Mike Jones, even though that would have tied it. Would Jeff Fisher have gone for 2? Probably not, but the Titans, AFC title game participants last year, they get Tannehill back. They got Derrick Henry. I do like Mike Vrabel. A.J. Brown is going to be a stud, but also, Lions, no. If you had to bet on which of these teams was going to have the number 1 overall draft pick, I would pick the Lions. Even though you have the Bengals up there, and they were number 1 last year, even though you have the Jaguars on there, and it looks like they're fully tanking, Falcons, I do think that Super Bowl window for Matt Ryan and Julio is closing. Kind of sad to see. But, of course, on this list, they were, well, I guess you could take out the Bills, but they were the closest to potentially winning the Super Bowl, being up 28-3 in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl against Tom friggin' Brady. Yeah. Bengals, no. Future is relatively bright. I do think Joe Burrow has some talent. I'm not sold on the head coach of the 14-year-old boy, but no. Texans, as long as Bill O'Brien is involved with the Texans in any way, shape, or form, absolutely not, even though they do have Deshaun Watson, who's one of the young, up-and-coming great quarterbacks. The Chargers, do like Anthony Lynn, Herbert, future, sure, whatever. I mean, maybe if they do trade for Riley Reif and they send the Vikings Desmond King, maybe that could work out, but Super Bowl this year? No. Bills? Ha! All right. So the Bills on this list, I mean, if Scott Norwood makes that field goal, they have a Super Bowl, right? So, but 0 for 4, although making 4 straight Super Bowls is admirable. But yeah, I've been kind of jaded by Bills fans as of late, just because they've been in the comment section. So screw y'all. Even though you do have Diggs, and I love Diggs. The Browns, sort of get shafted by the whole modern Super Bowl era, because the Browns won numerous NFL titles back in the day with like Otto Graham and Jim Brown, etc. But I don't know. I do think that they are heading the right direction. I think Kevin Stefanski could be the guy to lead them to the promised land, but probably not this year. I mean, if he gets Baker's head out of his ass, it's great. Myles Garrett is a potentially generational pass rusher. Plus, you got OBJ and Landry, and Nick Chubb is no slouch. Pretty damn solid offensive line, and Jedrick Wills and all that stuff. So they do have weapons. They certainly do. Yeah. Jaguars, no. Even though Gardner Minshew is fun, DJ Chark is a great receiver. D.D. Westbrook's got some talent, but other than that, no. And that leaves the Vikings. So even though I'm a biased Vikings fan, just objectively looking at this list, I mean, maybe you could see going with the Titans, Maybe before Cam got to New England, you tried me crafty, go with the Bills. But I think the Vikings are probably the easiest bet on this one, and probably the safest bet. With Zimmer, that dedication to the run. You got Dalvin, you got Kirk Cousins actually playing decent. You got Kubiak being the steady watchword and guide on that offense. And that defense, I mean, if they get the young players up to snuff and up to par relatively quickly, they're going to be a force. I think that they're probably the easiest bet to win their division. The Colts could have some trouble in the AFC South with the Colts. Or, sorry, the Titans could have some trouble with the Colts. Did I say Colts? Doesn't matter. But yeah, I would, as a Vikings fan, I'm obviously picking the Vikings, but even just as objective, looking for best value, I would also pick the Vikings here as well. So it is what it is. Hopefully it will pan out. But yeah, it is depressing because if you look on these franchises, besides the Browns and the Bengals, I believe that they are the older, the Lions but the Vikings are amongst the older franchises because the Falcons came in about the same time, if not at the same. Well, no, Cardinals are an OG. I'm completely making everything up. I'm making everything up because was it just the Panthers and the Jaguars? Well, the Browns were rebirthed, but Texans, sure. It doesn't matter. I'm betting on the Vikings. No one cares. There you go. All right, your thoughts. Franchises to win a Super Bowl that have not won one or something. I don't know. Subscribe. You know what to do. Comment. Skull. Production value.